Welcome to the deep dive. Ever stop to think about how medicine used to work? I mean, way back, before all the fancy diagnostic tools we have now.
Oh, absolutely. When it was really all about just watching, carefully observing everything.
Exactly, like being a detective, right? Trying to piece together what's going on just from the clues the body gives you.
Interpreting every little signal.
Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. We're cracking open a really fascinating old text, William Boericke's Homeopathic Materia Medica.
A classic.
Definitely. And our mission today is to explore the incredible detail, sometimes really surprising observations he makes about just one specific remedy. It's called China Officinalis.
Right, which you might also know as Peruvian bark or Cinchona officinalis. Same thing.
That's the one. So we're going to unpack the key symptoms, the characteristics, Boric linked to it.
And it's not just about listing symptoms, is it? It's about appreciating the sheer depth of how they classified things back then. It's a unique snapshot of how they understood medicine historically.
Precisely. Yeah, it's not just about dusting off an old book. It's about seeing how even tiny details, things we might overlook today, were seen as crucial insights, real guides to understanding health and disease.
And how practitioners use that information.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Boericke really zeroes in on a core reason for using China officinalis. If you had to nail down the main theme, like what kind of patient are we talking about?
Okay, so the absolute central idea is deliving deep weakness.
Stability, okay. Not just tired then.
No, not just a bit worn out. We're talking serious, lasting weakness. And specifically, Boericke links it to weakness that comes from exhausting discharges
Discharges, like what?
or significant loss of vital fluids. So think about someone really drained, maybe from a bad hemorrhage or really persistent diarrhea or even just excessive sweating over time, something that really depletes the body.
Got it. That makes sense. And did Boericke notice anything else that often went along with this extreme weakness? Anything with the nervous system?
Yes, definitely. He talks about something called nervous erethism. Erethism.
Yeah, think of it as like a heightened sensitivity, irritability of the nervous system. Like the person's nerves are just constantly on edge, frayed.
Okay, hypersensitive.
Exactly. And another really, really important feature is marked periodicity,
Periodicity, meaning
meaning the symptoms tend to come and go, often at quite regular, predictable intervals. That's a big clue in homeopathy.
interesting.
And patients often have this specific sensitivity. They're very sensitive to drafts, drafts of air. Even a slight breeze can make their symptoms worse.
Wow. Okay.
And another interesting point he makes is that this remedy, China, it's seldom indicated right at the beginning, in the early stages of an acute illness.
So not for the initial fever and chills, maybe.
More for the after effects, the lingering weakness, the state the body's left in after the acute phase when it's truly depleted.
Right, the deep exhaustion that follows. So where did Boericke see this being used typically? What kinds of conditions? Exactly that aftermath state.
Yeah.
You see it mentioned for things like chronic gout or chronic suppurative pyelitis. That's a serious kidney inflammation, often with pus.
Oh, okay. Serious stuff.
Yeah, and even for postoperative gas pains. But here's the really key thing about the gas pains. They are not relieved by passing gas.
Oh, that's unusual.
It is. Normally, passing gas brings relief. But here, the patient can pass gas and that deep, bloated feeling, that distension, it just doesn't go away. It points to a much deeper issue.
Huh. That is specific.
And this is where you really start to see the level of detail in these observations.
It's pretty incredible. You really do picture these old practitioners as medical detectives, don't you? Just meticulously noting everything down to build the whole picture.
Absolutely.
So let's really get into this symptom symphony as Boericke lays it out, starting with the mind. What does he say about the patient's mental or emotional state?
Well, the mind symptoms, they paint quite a picture. You might see apathy, indifference, maybe being disobedient or very quiet, taciturn, despondent.
Okay, sort of withdrawn, low energy.
Yes, but then there are these other more active symptoms that are fascinating, like ideas crowding the mind, preventing sleep. You know that feeling? Your thoughts just racing, won't shut off. And even a specific, quite unusual thing, a disposition to hurt other people's feelings.
Really? That's specific.
Isn't it? Along with sudden crying or tossing about restlessly. And this really shows how they viewed the mind and body back then completely integrated. These emotional states weren't separate. They were seen as direct signs of the physical imbalance the remedy could address.
That link is so clear in the way he describes it, and that level of detail seems to carry right through to the physical sensations too. Let's move to the head. Sounds like things get quite vivid there.
Well, they really do. Patients might actually describe feeling like their skull is going to burst. Or, get this, as if the brain were balancing to and fro, striking against the skull, causing great pain.
Wow. Imagine trying to explain that.
Exactly. An intense throbbing, throbbing headaches. And you can even feel it in the carotid arteries in the neck.
Okay.
The face might be flushed, especially linking back to that fluid loss idea. After hemorrhages or maybe sexual excesses, things seen as depleting.
Ah, the depletion theme again.
Right. And what's unique here are the modalities, the things that make it better or worse.
Mm-hmm.
Headaches are often relieved by pressure and by being in a warm room.
Pressure helps.
Yeah. And the scalp itself can be really sensitive,
Right.
like worse just from combing the hair.
Jeez, even combing hair.
Mm-hmm. And the headaches are often worse in the open air and might go from temple to temple.
Such precise descriptions. It seems like even the smaller details, eyes, ears, nose, mouth, they all contribute to this very specific picture.
They absolutely do. Like around the eyes, you might see a bluish color, or they look hollow. The sclera, the white part of the eye, might look yellowish.
Okay.
For the ears, a big one is ringing, tinnitus. And the outer ear might be sensitive just a touch. The nose tends to bleed easily, especially when the person first gets up in the morning. And sneezing, but specifically dry sneezing. Violent, but dry.
Dry sneezing, interesting distinction. And taste.
Often a bitter taste in the mouth. Or food might taste too salty, strangely enough.
Okay. Now, let's talk digestion. Because it sounds like this is a really, really key area for China Officinalis in Boericke's view. It seems to stand out.
Oh, absolutely. This is a major focus. You often see stomach tenderness, maybe a feeling of coldness in the stomach.
Coldness.
Yeah. And vomiting of undigested food. Digestion is just generally very slow. People feel this heavy weight after eating.
Like the food just sits there.
Exactly. Boericke even mentions ill effects specifically from drinking tea. And here's a really peculiar symptom: being hungry without appetite.
Hungry without appetite. How does that work?
It's like having this deep craving or longing for food, but then when you eat it, it just lies there undigested. The body wants it, but can't process it.
Wow, okay.
But if you connect all this digestive stuff, the absolute hallmark symptom for China, the big takeaway, is flatulence, gas.
Right, you mentioned the post-op gas.
Yes, but it's the type of flatulence. It's not just any gas. We're talking significant belching, maybe of bitter fluid or regurgitating food. And the crucial point, again, it gives no relief.
Still no relief.
Zero relief. That's the vital distinction. For most people, belching gives at least temporary comfort. Here, nothing. It really points to this deep digestive standstill or stasis.
That's a huge differentiator.
Huge. You also see what's called a tympanitic abdomen, where the belly is really distended and sounds like a drum if you tap it because it's so full of gas. And it can be indicated for gallstone colic too.
Okay. And the stool itself?
Typically, it's undigested, maybe frothy, yellow. And here's another key combination. It's usually painless, but very weakening.
Painless but weakening.
Yeah, which again emphasizes that deep depletion. It's draining the person even though it doesn't hurt. And often worse at night or after meals, or specifically triggered by things like fruit, milk, or beer.
Very specific drubbers too. Okay, so digestion is clearly a huge area. What about other parts of the body? What other systems did Boericke see being affected by this state of debility?
Well, it really spreads out. You see effects in the reproductive system, for instance. In men, he mentions excited, lascivious thoughts, maybe frequent emissions, which again contribute to that overall weakness, the depletion.
Right, tying back to fluid loss.
Exactly. For women, periods might come too early. They could be heavy with dark clots and a lot of abdominal bloating or distension. Painful. And notably, there's mention of a bloody leukorrhea, that's a bloody vaginal discharge that sometimes seems to take the place of the period.
Whoa. So instead of a normal period, this bloody discharge.
Yeah, it suggests a pretty significant underlying imbalance or depletion. Then the respiratory system, you might see a suffocative type of phlegm with a rattling in the chest, a violent hacking cough that comes on after every meal.
After every meal.
That's what he notes. Very specific timing. And difficulty breathing if their head is low, like they have to be propped up.
Okay, and the heart.
Can be irregular. Beats might alternate, sometimes weak and rapid, then suddenly strong and hard. Kind of erratic.
And back, limbs.
Sharp pains across the kidney area in the back. And in the limbs and joints, pains that feel as if sprained. Like you've twisted something, but you haven't.
Okay. Now, you mentioned sensitivity earlier, but there's a really unique aspect related to touch, isn't there? This sounds like one of those distinctive things.
It really is. This is one of the most characteristic, almost paradoxical symptoms of China officinalis. There's an extreme sensitiveness to the slightest touch.
The lightest touch.
Yeah, think about even the light touch of clothing, maybe feeling unbearable on the skin,
Yeah.
especially on the arms and legs.
Wow. That sounds awful.
But here's the paradox. While the lightest touch is agony, hard pressure relieves the pain.
Hard pressure makes it better.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
gentle touch, terrible. Firm, steady pressure brings relief. It's such a specific and defining symptom for this remedy picture.
That is bizarre, but incredibly specific.
Totally. You might also see just general coldness, a lot of sweat, and sometimes one hand is ice cold while the other is warm. And skin conditions too, like dermatitis or erysipelas, can show up.
Okay, that touch paradox is definitely something to remember. What about sleep and fever? How does this whole state affect those patterns?
Well, sleep is often disturbed. People might feel drowsy during the day, but then the sleep they get at night is unrefreshing. Or they suffer from just long periods of sleeplessness, maybe waking up really early.
Mm-hmm.
Dreams are often anxious, frightening, and they wake up feeling confused, like they can't quite shake off the fear or the weirdness of the dream.
Right, that groggy, disturbed feeling.
Exactly. And fever patterns, remember the periodicity. They're typically intermittent, coming and going. The paroxysms, the episodes of fever, often anticipate.
Anticipate, meaning they come sooner each time.
Yeah, like if it came at 2 p.m. yesterday, maybe it comes at 1 p.m. today. And they often return maybe every week or every other day was also mentioned. The chill phase usually happens in the forenoon, starts in the chest area. And here's another one of those super specific Boericke details. Thirst before the chill.
Thirst before the chill starts.
Often thirst comes during the fever or after, but here it's noted as a warning sign before the chill even begins. Very distinctive.
Okay.
And then you get those debilitating night sweats we talked about, or just sweating really easily from the slightest effort, sometimes just on specific parts of the body.
Man, the level of detail is just staggering. So, okay, we've gone through the mind, the head, digestion, touch, sleep, fever, all these specific observations. How does Boericke tie this all together? What does it tell a practitioner about when this remedy is most clearly needed? What makes things consistently better or worse?
Right. This is the crucial part for actually using the remedy, the modalities. He summarizes the key factors. Symptoms are consistently worse from, well, we heard it already, the slightest touch.
Yep, got that one.
Also, worse from a draft of air. Worse every other day. That's the periodicity again. Worse from loss of vital fluids, obviously. Worse at night. Worse after eating, and worse from bending over.
Okay, quite a list of worse.
And then conversely, symptoms are generally better from doubling over with abdominal pain, maybe. Better from hard pressure. There's that paradox again, really nailing it down.
Yeah, that's unforgettable now.
Better in the open air for some things, though headaches were worse, so it depends. And better from warmth. So these modalities, they really help confirm the whole picture. They tie all those disparate symptoms together.
Okay, that makes sense. It provides the context. Now, to kind of round out this deep dive, Boericke also lists other remedies that interact with or compare to China officinalis. What can you tell us about those connections he made?
Yeah, he does that for context. He lists antidotes, other remedies thought to counteract China's effects if needed. Those are arnica, arsenicum, nux vomica, and ipecac.
Okay.
Then for comparisons, this is really interesting. He mentions quinidin.
Quinidin. That sounds familiar, like a modern drug.
Exactly. Even today, quinidine, derived from cinchona bark originally, is used for certain heart rhythm problems, paroxysmal tachycardia, auricular fibrillation. Boericke notes it slows the heart and affects conduction time. It's a remarkable historical link to conventional medicine.
Wow, that is fascinating. He saw that connection way back then.
He also compares it to cephalanthus, or buttonbush, apparently used for intermittent fever and rheumatic issues, and Cydonia vulgaris, which is quince, believed back then to strengthen the sexual organs and the stomach.
Interesting folk beliefs mixed in there too.
And complementary remedies, ones thought to work well alongside China, are ferrum, which is iron, and calcarea phosphorica.
Okay, and the dose?
He specifies tincture up to the 30th potency. That's a standard homeopathic dilution, meaning it's been diluted many, many times. These comparisons and notes, they really hint at this whole web of perceived relationships between substances in the medical thinking of that era.
What an absolutely incredible deep dive into just one single remedy from this Materia Medica. It really is a testament to the power of just meticulous observation. Thinking of Boericke like that medical detective, just decoding the body's signals.
Yeah, and if you zoom out for a second, This whole exploration, it just demonstrates how vital that kind of holistic symptom understanding was historically. Every little detail, from the weird mental symptoms to the modalities like touch or time of day, it all built this comprehensive picture of the patient's whole state.
Nothing was irrelevant.
Nothing. Which I think raises a really important question for us today.
Oh, one.
How might looking at such a granular, symptom focused approach to illness, even though it comes from a different medical tradition, how might that encourage us to pay closer attention to our own body's signals and patterns today? Think about it. Could these seemingly obscure historical details actually offer a different way, a different lens for perceiving well being and discomfort in our own lives?
Yeah.
Maybe urging us to become better observers of ourselves.